friends, it's Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are going to be going over the first budget in June, and we're going to be looking at the actual column today. So last Friday, I posted my budget video for the first week in June, and I told you guys I'd be coming back at the end of the week to sort of reconcile my budget and show you guys how I did. So we're going to do that today. I have all of the budgeted amounts here. We're going to look in my Erin Condren Deluxe Monthly Planner, where I have kept track of all of my transactions and expenses this week, and we are going to figure out exactly what we spent in each category and see if we were under budget or over budget. So if you're interested in seeing how I did on my budget for the week, just keep on watching. Alright, so for our very first category, we have groceries. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. So I budgeted $150 for the first week of June in groceries. And so looking at my Erin Condren Life Planner here, you can see we're budgeting from the 2nd until the 8th. So any transactions that were groceries are going to be in this purple color here, as you can see. So I had a couple of grocery transactions. I'm just going to add them up and we'll see if I stuck to my budget. So the first one, hopefully you guys can see this, was at Walmart for $123.35. Let me zoom you guys back out just a little bit. Alright, and then we have our local supermarket here for $4.99. GFS, we spent $22.48. Murphy is a gas station where we stopped for drinks, so that's $3.58. And that is everything for groceries, for a grand total of $154.40. So we are a little bit over budget, not too terrible. But so for in this actual column then, I'm going to write, this is just a red ink pen, it's a Pilot G2. I always write when I'm over budget in red, just so that it stands out to me and I can see, hey, look, you were over budget. So $154.40, not terribly over budget, $4.40 over, but it's really easy if you're over in every category by a few dollars. It's really easy to mess up your budget in a big way. Alright, so next up we have gasoline, and looking here in my planner, we only had one gas transaction. You can see gas is this sort of light pink color. The grocery sticker and the gas sticker are very similar, so when I make new stickers, I'm going to make sure that the colors are a lot easier to differentiate, but I know that I only put gas in my vehicle one time this week, and it was $48. Gas prices in Michigan have gone back up, so I anticipated I was going to need my budget to be back up to $50, and I was right. It took $48 to fill my tank. So since that's the only transaction, I don't need my calculator to know that I spent $48. And since that was under budget, since I budgeted $50, I'll use my black pen for that. And for my black pen today, I'm using an erasable Parkoo pen, which I love. I don't have any of these erasable pens in red, otherwise I'd be writing using the red one as well, but I don't. Okay, household. I didn't even bother to write down in my planner here for transactions, because that $30 I just send right to our Amazon credit card. We use that Amazon card to pay for all of our household items through Amazon Subscribe and Save. So I sent $30, so right on budget there. Next I have my spending. I kept my spending money in the bills category because I wanted to just be able to swipe my debit card. Most of my shopping and over the last couple of months has been online shopping, so I anticipated just swiping a card, which I did, but I needed to keep track of that in my transaction since it wasn't just cash. If I'm spending cash, it sits in my cash envelope, and then whenever the cash envelope's empty, I just stop spending in that category. But because this money was left in the bank, I needed to keep track of it. So I actually went ahead and put my personal spending money on these purple stickers here. These are from the back of this planner here. They came in very handy this week. So I spent $5.18 at Sunoco. That was just grabbing snacks one day, and then I also treated my family to Tim Hortons. We had coffee and donuts. You guys maybe saw that in my vlog video that I posted earlier in the week. And so the total amount that I spent was $21.30, which I had budgeted $40, so that came in well under budget. All right, eating out. I can tell you guys for sure we are way over in eating out, because we, at the very beginning of the week on payday, went and got ourselves Panda Express, which for my family of 4 is quite a hefty penny, $44.31. And we didn't intend to eat out again, but then my husband was building a deck on Sunday. It got late and I didn't really have a good plan for dinner, so we ended up ordering a pizza, which I knew at the time was going to put us over budget, but sometimes that happens. We have a little bit of wiggle room in our budget. We have a buffer in our account, so I wasn't too worried about it. Still, we did go quite a bit over budget. We spent $74.81, which, if you take that $74.81 and you subtract the $50, we were $24.81 over budget, so that is quite a bit. Doesn't happen often. It's interesting because this is the first week I decided I was going to share my actual column with you guys, and this was the week that I have done like the worst I've done in a long time on my budget. Just go figure. Alright, so that is everything in terms of our spending. I took care of all of these transactions. These were all added to my budget. And I just like to check them off so that I know I got them. Now we're going to look at the bills. So if you watched my budget video last week, you will know that we actually only had one bill that fell during this week, which was Netflix. But I didn't want to just pay one bill and then roll over a ton of money, so I went ahead and allocated money for some of the bills that are due next week as well, just so I could kind of stay ahead of the game. So some of these bills, even though I budgeted for them in the week and we are closing out our budget, some of these bills haven't come out yet because they're on automatic payment. But I just am going to make sure that I have the money in the bank set aside for when those come out. And I do know the actual totals. I looked them up, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue with closing out this budget, even though these haven't quite left my account yet. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, the one bill that was actually due this week that did come out was Netflix, as you can see here. Hopefully you can see. And it was $15.99. So I budgeted $16. I like when I am budgeting for my bills to round my bills up where I can, just so that I have a little bit of that wiggle room in my budget so that I know that I'm covered. So that is that. Capital One was a minimum payment. I did pay that, and that was indeed $70 as I anticipated. For Hulu, our actual bill is $11.99, and I budgeted $12, so we are under budget there. And Disney Plus is $7, and I budgeted $10, so we are on track there. For Spectrum, I talked to you guys a little bit about my Spectrum bill in my budget video, where I said that I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to need that money or not, because we recently transitioned to a new contract. So it turned out that this actually was not due this week. I don't have to pay this bill until the 1st of next month, so this actually came in at $0. And lastly was Boost, which I have gone ahead and paid. That's not on auto pay, so I just went ahead and paid it, and it was $130 as anticipated. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my calculator here. This calculator just came from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to add up our actual totals for our bills category and see how close we came to our budgeted total. So we have 154.40 plus 48 plus 30 plus 21.30 plus 74.81 plus 15.99 plus 70 plus 11.99 plus 7 plus 130, and that equals out to be $563.49. I don't know if you guys can see these calculations on the calculator or not. Hopefully you can. I've got my bright lights on, so it's hard for me to see the viewfinder and see what you guys are seeing, but hopefully you can see that. So the bill total that I had budgeted was $628, and my actual amount was $563.49. So I was actually under budget by $64.51. So even though I did go over budget in a couple of categories, it all worked itself out and I came in under budget for my bill total, which is great. The rest of this is pretty easy peasy. It was all as expected for the most part. So Eric's spending, we did pull out 40 in cash, so that was accurate. Miscellaneous, I pulled out 50 in cash, but actually I didn't end up spending any of that cash. However, I did make a couple of miscellaneous purchases on my transaction log here. So as you can see here, miscellaneous is supposed to be this green sticker, but I printed out a bunch of stickers for myself and somehow the green sheet came up missing. I don't have any idea what happened to it. It's got to be around here somewhere, but I couldn't find it when I needed to do my enter my transactions, so I just used a green sticker again from the back of the planner to mark that we spent $20.47 in miscellaneous spending. So we were actually under budget. It just came out of my debit account instead of my cash. It just happened to work out that way. No big deal. I will just deposit the money and it'll all work out. But so miscellaneous, we budgeted $50, but we only spent $20.47. So adding this up, then 40 plus 20, 47, 60, 47 was our envelope total, which again is under budget. I budgeted $90, we only spent $60.47, so that's great. All right, our sinking funds were exactly as planned. 50 for campground, 25 for car tags and maintenance, 25 for Christmas, 50 for home insurance. You would have saw this if you watched my budget video when I did the cash envelope stuffing. That was all as planned. The debt snowball was $128 as planned. In terms of the extra debt payment, I did make that $500 payment, and actually I ended up doing $502 just because the amount, when I added up the minimum payment I was planning on paying, the debt snowball, and the extra amount, it came out to like $698, and so I just rounded it up to $700. So it was actually $502. So I am going to write that in red because technically I spent more than what I planned, but I just wanted it to be an even number. So the amount that I actually spent in extra debt was $630. So I am a little bit over budget in that category, but it's a good thing because it means that I sent more to my debt payment, which is always a plus. All right, and then Savopoly was $1 as anticipated. So as you can see, For the week, even though I was over budget in this one category by just a couple of dollars, I was able to come in under budget overall. So I'm very, very satisfied with this week. A little bit rocky in terms of the groceries and eating out. It seems like those categories are the categories we constantly go over in. So maybe moving forward, I need to think about upping those categories. I probably won't for this next week because, I'm only a few dollars over here and there. It's not the end of the world. But if I find that I am consistently coming up over budget in those categories, it'll definitely be something I consider for the future. That's something I definitely recommend when you are budgeting, is to pay attention to your spending habits and don't be afraid to raise or lower your budget based on how much you spend. So that was it for my kind of reconciliation of my budget. This is the first time I've done this, so you guys will have to let me know. Do you like going back and seeing what I spent and whether or not I stuck to my budget? Because I'd be happy to film this type of video every week. I think it's really interesting to share not only your budgeted numbers, but how the budget all kind of works out in the end. So that is it for this video. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up so that I know. If you haven't done so already, I would love it if you would subscribe. I post new videos every single week. I would love to have you come back. You can click the notification bell and you'll get a push notification every time that I upload a video. All of those things just help support me, so if you feel like doing that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!